Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is Life with Amber. Okay, so today we got in the kitchen. And when I say we, I mean me. Got in the kitchen and I made shrimp and scallop loaded grits. It just makes me want to cry because it was so good. Listen, so backstory, my grits alone, I think I make the best grits. However, this topic can be very controversial because of what people like in their grits. So I'm personally a sugar and grits person. Now, not too much where it's like a dessert, but enough to where you get that like sweet feel, but you can still eat it with the savory. So I don't know what type of grit person you are. You should leave a comment below. Are you a sugar person? Do you like cheese grits? Are you more salt? Yeah, let me know what type of grit person you are. But regardless, I made some really good grits and I've been trying to tweak my recipe for a while. Now the thing about recipes with me is I don't really measure much. So I tried to measure a little bit in this video of how much stuff I put in my grits, but I'm really like an eyeball, ooh, does that look good? Yes or no type of cook. So yeah, so I'm excited about these shrimp and grits. I made scallops for the first time ever. So I was watching the video just to try to see. I mean, I watched a ton of Food Network anyway. So I was trying to see, okay, I need to sear them at this temperature. Do I add this? Do I add that? So you'll get to see all of that upcoming when I show you how exactly I make the shrimp and grits. But it was delicious. Loaded shrimp and scallop grits. Please tune in and watch what the outcome was. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. So here we have our grits, and I just used the quick 5-minute grits, and I used the directions right on the back, which is 1 cup of grits to 4 cups liquid. So here I'm just pouring in the grits, and you can use whatever type of grits you like. I know I used the 5-minute grits, but my grits do not take 5 minutes at all. I cook them for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. So yeah. So now I have my measuring cup, and I filled that measuring cup up with 2 cups of water, and then I'll fill the next 2 cups with heavy whipping cream. Now this heavy whipping cream makes the perfect creamy texture for my grits. I've been using it more lately. I actually started using milk, which still works just as well, but instead of using half milk and half water, I'll do the full 4 cups of milk instead. So I'll go ahead and mix the heavy whipping cream into my cream and water mixture, and then I'll pour it right into the pot. So now I'm gonna cut our heat to medium high, and I'm gonna just stir it a little bit to get it going, but I'm gonna make sure that it comes to a slight boil so then we can add our grits. So now we have our mixture that came to a boil, and we're gonna start to add our grits now. Now you wanna make sure that it is not an extreme boil, because you know with grits you will burn yourself. So just make sure it's not boiling too much, because you also don't wanna scorch the bottom of the pan. So we're just gonna add our grits in very slowly, because you don't want any clunks or chunks. And I'll add my grits in really slow, and the key is to continue to stir. Stir, stir, stir. Do not stop stirring. You want to stir until you get to that really thick, creamy grit texture. So here we have that perfect consistency that we're looking for. So now we'll cut the eye off, put it to the back on low, let it simmer, covered. So here you can see how the grits thickened up a bit. So I made us a mixture of cream and water on the side. So I'll use throughout the process, but I'll go ahead and mix the grits up just to break it up a bit. And then I'll add that cream and water mixture to the grits as I see needed. So you can do this throughout the whole process of cooking your grits on low. You can add as much or as little as you want to just to get it to that perfect consistency. So here I'm just gonna add a stick of butter. The butter is salted, it's imperial, so it does contain a lot of salt. So this is why I don't add any extra salt to my grits, because once I put the butter in, it's already enough salt for me. So I'll just add the butter in, mix it up a little bit, add more cream as I see needed, and then continue to let it cook low and slow. So now I have some bacon and I'm gonna just fry that up so it can also go right on top of our loaded grits. So the bacon is now at the perfect texture we needed at. We're gonna take it off the eye and we're gonna check back on our grits. So our grits have been going for about 30 minutes now. So I'm just gonna check it, see if I need to add any more cream and water mixture. And right now I'm gonna go ahead and add my sugar in. So I put it in a 1 cup measuring cup just to see how much sugar I actually use. Because as before I said, I don't really measure. So I think it's safe to say that I put about a 1/2 cup or maybe a little less than that. But trust me, it was not super sweet. It's enough grits for that sugar to kind of spread around. So I'm just gonna stir it, add a little more cream, and let it continue to cook. So now we're going to start on our shrimp. And for this, I'll add just a little bit of olive oil to the pan and I'll let the pan get hot before I add my shrimp in. So I've added my shrimp and I like to season in the pan. So here I added just a little bit of seasoning salt, some Old Bay. I also added some garlic powder and I added onion powder as well. And of course I added some black pepper and then I topped it off with just a little bit of parsley. So we're gonna start our scallops for the dish. And here I just added some butter and olive oil to start. Here are my scallops, which I've cleaned and I let get to room temperature. And I also dried them as best as I could because the scallop is best seared when it's dry and when it's at room temperature. So we let our pan get really hot so that way when we put the scallops in, it'll have that perfect sear and that perfect crust all around the bottom and around the edges. And so that's what I'll do. I just continue to add my scallops to the pan and then we'll get that perfect crust. And just like the shrimp, I use the same seasonings. So I'll use, again, seasoning salt. I'll use a little bit of Old Bay, garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, and parsley. So I'll go ahead and let these cook for about 3 minutes. So let's see what it looks like, and boom! Yes, look at that, y'all. I did that. That scallop looks gorgeous. So yeah, I'll keep flipping them over and I'll cook the other side for about 2 minutes. And there we have it. The scallops are done. So another thing, and the last thing that I want to add to my loaded grits is an egg. And Mario and I, we have to be in the mood for an over easy egg. So I usually cook our eggs over hard. And that means that the yolk is just cooked through. And I just simply add some seasoning, salt, and pepper to taste. So when I cook my eggs over hard, I usually flip them and then I gently, or try to gently press down on the egg without breaking the yolk completely and just kind of cooking it through. But we see here that my yolk kind of busted, but it's all good. Just continue to let it cook. I continue to flip it until I think that it's ready. And then this is the last step before we start to build our loaded grits. So now we are ready to start building our loaded bowls, and look at those creamy grits. So first I'll start by adding the grits to the bowl. And of course, presentation is key. So I just got those little side drippings off the side of the bowl before I added the ingredients. But right now I'll go ahead and add our egg right on top of the grits. Egg is nice and hot. The grits are nice and hot. And then I'll add some cheese right on top so that cheese will melt beautifully. I'll add our bacon that we cooked. Next, I'm gonna add shrimp to each bowl. Then I'm gonna add my scallops, beautifully seared scallops to each bowl. And last but not least, I added some freshly chopped green onions to the bowl, and that is it. Look at that presentation. Our loaded shrimp and scallop bowl came out perfectly. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see a little bit more of my cooking, me, and my family. Thanks for watching, guys.